Welcome to Generation Digital Workforce, the podcast that's here to explore the role of robotic process automation and other digital technologies. Whether you're just getting started or you're looking for advanced strategies and tactics, if you're curious about where human and digital workers are coming together to transform the future of work, then this podcast is for you. All right, let's get into the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Hairston with Blue Prism. Today on the Generation Digital Workforce podcast, I am delighted to have as my guest Michael Ovaes and Mukesh Shah, two experts in intelligent automation from the global advisory firm FTI Consulting. Michael and Mukesh are part of FTI's Office of the CFO Solutions practice, and today I will be chatting with them about how CFOs are positioned to lead the automation agenda in many companies, especially as they recover from the pandemic. Michael and Mukesh, thank you very much for joining me today.
Glad to be here, Brad.
Thanks, Brad. Glad to be here.
Great. So let's begin with some introductions. Please tell us about yourselves and your respective roles at FTI. Why don't we start with you, Michael?
Thanks, Brad, and Blue Prism for the opportunity for us to speak with you today. I'm a Senior Managing Director at FTI Consulting. I focus on helping companies achieve finance function and back office excellence through digitalization and automation initiatives, among many other transformational levers. The majority of my clients are CFOs and finance function leaders who are seeking ways to lower the cost of finance, improve service levels, and turn finance into a partner of the business.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Brad. Glad to be here. This is Mukesh. I'm a managing director at FTI, and my expertise lies in advising companies on digital transformation in finance and accounting. My role focuses on anything from digitizing business processes, helping CFO optimize their technology investment, leading cloud migration, and all the way to advising on technology strategy. Like Michael, the majority of my clients are CFOs, and I work closely with the CIOs to drive finance transformations.
Okay, great. Thank you for those introductions, gentlemen. So across your clientele, especially thinking about those clients that have been hit the hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic, how high up on the corporate agenda is the automation topic? Could you start there?
Absolutely, Brad. This is Michael. It's certainly been an interesting time for our clients. For many companies, the pandemic increased the sense of urgency around automation, or at least increased people's attention on it. And in many cases, it has moved up the list of priorities. What CFOs are seeing is that the sudden pause in operation really exposed a lot of business continuity and workforce issues that they may not have been fully prepared for. Overall, those CFOs who had embraced digital transformation prior to COVID-19 have been better able to endure the impact of the pandemic and, frankly speaking, are better situated to thrive post the pandemic. But for those who haven't yet looked to digital solutions in finance, I think we'll see that in the course of rebalancing their plans to address many of the issues that the pandemic created, many CFOs and finance leaders will incorporate digital and automation as part of their roadmap, not only for the benefits of operating during a pandemic situation, disruption like the one we're experiencing now, but really for the long-term benefits associated with digital transformation.
Okay, great thoughts there, Michael. So I know both of you would agree that automation, or as Gartner now calls it, hyper-automation, is in and of itself a worthwhile investment, but it still needs to have a solid business case around it and be linked closely to improving KPIs that are important to executive leadership. So how often do you guys see companies evaluating automation investments that way?
Thanks, Brad. This is Mukesh. This is a great question. We see that from many of our CFOs, particularly the CFOs that are first-time automation CFO. In our opinion, the successful automation initiative already takes this into account. That is why CFO are laser focused on determining the right pilot that they want to start with, develop a strong use case that has KPIs and benefits already documented. The business case is also the main reason why most CFOs are leading the automation and digital transformation agenda at most of our clients. One point worth noting is that some clients fail to realize the value proposition around digital workforce, and often initial success fades away as RPA program moves from pilot. We are advising CFO on two things on their RPA business case. Establish KPIs that are measurable before and after automation, and make sure the functional and process owners are accountable for those KPIs. Second, drive automation as a transformational capability owned by business versus a project owned by IT. This is how we are really helping CFOs drive automation journey using business case.
Okay, thank you. So as part of the Office of CFO Solutions practice, both of you deliver performance improvement services in the finance function. And clearly the CFO is your focal point. So let's talk a little bit about what is the role that the CFO plays in automation efforts going forward.
Absolutely, Brad. Well, let me start by saying that it's crucial. And by that, I mean part of the enjoyment of doing what we do is seeing CFOs who didn't necessarily view themselves as tech savvy succeeding and driving innovation in their organizations. Mukesh alluded to this before, but more and more we see finance as a driver, if not the driver, for digital transformation, where CFOs take the role of leading the initiative by serving as first movers of automation and working with their peers to quantify the benefits of digital transformation initiative across the enterprise.
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Michael. So, Mukesh, let me ask you a question. What makes the CFO best suited to lead the automation effort at most companies?
Brad, the finance organization has visibility into processes and data across entire organization and have good understanding of complex and inefficient processes that are originating in other parts of the back office and operation. This insight helps provide area of automation opportunities that will help both the finance department as well as other organizations with digital transformation. From that perspective, it is natural for CFOs to play the lead role because they typically have the best understanding of where automation will work best in the current operating model, or how current business models should exploit the benefits of automation to remain profitable in a sustainable way. They can also envision how these results can be tangible. For example, we've been working with a CFO who looked to automate match invoice, read contracts, process invoice, and better manage collection during these times. All things that they have control, visibility, and management overview. These are also areas where they know they can communicate real benefits, where reducing operation cost, increase productivity, maintain compliance, or scaling their finance function.
Those are great points, Mukesh. What about companies that have a chief digital officer, which many organizations do today? Why is the person in that role not typically best suited to lead this type of effort?
Robotic process automation is very different from digital or IT implementation. It is business-led, business-owned, and requires significant knowledge of end-to-end business process. Therefore, we find it is typically not led by Chief Digital Officer or CIO. The business SME who know the end-to-end process are best suited to optimize and automate and spearhead the automation efforts. It should be noted that IT does play an important part, however, around governance and support of the digital workforce. They have to be on board, supportive of RPA, or it is destined to fail. It is very common for CDO or CIO to be part of the governance board or steering committee to put in place for an automation program.
Okay, thank you. So Mukesh mentioned a client example, a CFO that you're working with that's kind of playing this leadership role around automation. Michael, perhaps you could also share an example of a CFO client that is currently leading this type of effort, and if you could talk about that and maybe explain how they got into that position.
Absolutely, Brad. I'll be happy to. So we're currently partnering with a client in a transformation effort focused on modernizing and digitizing the finance function of this client with the whole mission of enabling the enterprise aggressive growth agenda. This is a technology client that has grown through many acquisitions and will continue to grow through acquisitions, and was heavily underinvested across the talent, process, organization, and technology dimensions. Our CFO benefited from a new private equity owner that basically brought in a longer-term time horizon to the enterprise. And with their support, the CFO got in front of the digital transformation agenda of the enterprise, starting with finance. And Brad, in a relatively short period of time, our client has been able to move to the cloud, is about to go live with SAP Central Finance, which is going to enable a centralization, shared services, global business services strategy, roll out a last mile of the closed solution, and is pursuing an aggressive automation agenda through RPA and other emerging technologies. The outcome is basically a leaner and scalable finance organization with simpler, faster, and highly automated processes, and tied to clear and measurable outcomes. And overall, it's a finance function that is now enabling the enterprise growth strategy. So a really good success story on how digital and automation can transform a finance function.
That is a terrific story. Thank you for sharing that, Michael. In the months to come, things are no doubt going to be chaotic. Company leaders, are going to have to make some really big decisions to revive themselves and the economy in general. So in the midst of this, what's it going to take for CFOs to be effective as champions for digital transformation?
That's a great question, Brad. And the reality is that digital transformation is a reality in every aspect of life, and CFOs do not escape from that. So those CFOs that are playing catch up should take a stand now and use this crossroad to become effective champions of the enterprise digital transformation efforts. The first step starts with education and awareness. Gaining an understanding of digital solutions in finance and across the enterprise will shed some light on the art of the possible. Engaging peers and eventually functional leaders will also help create awareness, address internal fears and concerns, and prepare the organization for significant change. The second step is for CFOs to develop a clear view of the benefits they expect to achieve and the burning platform of the digital transformation efforts. Is it achieving cost reduction, building scalability, improving accuracy and service levels, etc.? That clarity is critical. And lastly, to truly champion it in the enterprise, CFOs should practice what they preach and serve as the pilot to build momentum and set the rest of the organization for success.
Well, that's a great way to end our discussion today. So, Michael and Mukesh, I truly appreciate you joining me today. Thank you for all of your insights, just spending time with me to talk through this. I think we're all on the same page that the CFO is truly a central figure in driving automation across industries, especially in the near term. So thank you for your time. All the best to both of you, and please be safe.
Thank you, Brad. You bet. And thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, Brad. Michael, really enjoyed this.
You've been listening to Generation Digital Workforce. If you want to hear more about RPA, AI, and other cognitive technologies that are shaping the future of work, join us next time as we continue to go deeper on these topics with industry innovators and experts. To make sure you never miss a future episode, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. And if you've liked what you heard today, please leave us a review. It's one of the best ways to help more people find valuable content. For show notes and more info, visit us at blueprism.com/podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.